woman vice president in U.S. history, Kamala Harris.
Give it up for Yesenia. Good afternoon, Arizona. Good afternoon. Can we give it up for Yesenia, please? You know, it takes so much courage, and we've seen this from women around the country, to tell what is a private, personal matter. And you do it for the sake of all of the people who must hear and must understand, and to remind so many women that they're not alone. You're a great leader. Thank you, Yesenia. Where is Mayor Romero? There she is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're an extraordinary leader. The mayor and her daughter met me on the tarmac as Doug and I got off of Air Force Two. And I want to thank you for the warm welcome and for your courageous leadership as well. It's good to be here. It's good to be back. Thank you. And it is good to be here with the next United States Senator from this state of Arizona, Ruben Gallego. And I have worked with Ruben, and I will tell you, he is a tireless fighter for the people and families of Arizona, and an essential partner to President Biden and me. Representative Grijalva wanted to be here today. I know that we are all praying for him. His wife is here, and I said to her, you know, the thing I love about Raul, he is such a fighter, and he's a street fighter. Like, he is a fighter. He is a fighter. And so we know he's going to be okay, and we are thinking of him as he begins his treatment for cancer. I want to thank as well my dear friend and the president of Reproductive Freedom for All, Minnie Timaraju. Where is she? Thank you, Minnie, for your leadership. And a special thank you to all the organizers in Arizona who are collecting signatures to put the right to reproductive freedom on the ballot and in the state constitution. And to the thousands of organizers from across our nation who are joining us virtually today. And I also want to thank the Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes, and all the other leaders of the Arizona State Legislature, including, of course, Senator Eva Bursch, who so bravely shared her story. Thank you for your incredible courage and determination. Arizona. This fight is about freedom. This fight is about freedom. And the freedom that is fundamental to the promise of America. The promise of America is a promise of freedom. In America, freedom is not to be given. It is not to be bestowed. It is ours by right. And that includes the freedom to make decisions about one's own body and not have the government telling people what to do. However, as we know, almost 2 years ago, the highest court in our land, the Court of Thurgood and RBG, took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America. And now in states across our country, extremists have proposed and passed laws that criminalize doctors and punish women. Laws that threaten doctors and nurses with prison time, even for life, simply for providing reproductive care. And then just this week, here in Arizona, they have turned back the clock to the 1800s to take away a woman's most fundamental right, the right to make decisions about her own body. This decision by the Arizona State Supreme Court now means women here, the women here, live under one of the most extreme abortion bans in our nation. No exception for rape or incest, prison time for doctors and nurses, and abortion made illegal before most women even know they're pregnant. The overturning of Roe was, without any question, a seismic event. And this ban here in Arizona is one of the biggest aftershocks yet. And understand, this law was passed in the 1800s before Arizona was even a state, before women could even vote. What has happened here in Arizona is a new inflection point. It has demonstrated once and for all that overturning Roe was just the opening act, of a larger strategy to take women's rights and freedoms, part of a full-on attack, state by state, on reproductive freedom. And we all must understand who is to blame. Former President Donald Trump did this. During his campaign in 2016, Donald Trump said women should be punished for seeking an abortion. Don't forget that. He said women should be punished. As President Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court because he intended for them to overturn Roe, and as he intended, they did. And now, because of Donald Trump, more than 20 states in our nation have bans. Now, because of Donald Trump, 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in our country live in a state that has a Trump abortion ban. And let us understand the impact of these Trump abortion bans, the horrific reality that women face every single day now in our country. Because since Roe was overturned, we all know the stories, and I'll tell you, I have met women who were refused care during a miscarriage. I met a woman who went to the emergency room and was turned away repeatedly because the doctors were afraid they might be thrown in jail for helping her. And it was only when she developed sepsis that she received care. I visited a clinic in Minnesota and met with courageous, dedicated medical professionals who see clinics like theirs forced to close, denying women across our country access to essential and life-saving care, breast cancer screenings, contraceptive care, PAPs. Donald Trump is the architect of this healthcare crisis. And that is not a fact, by the way, that he hides. In fact, he brags about it. Just this week, he said that he is, quote, proudly the person responsible for overturning Roe. Proudly responsible for the pain and suffering of millions of women and families. Proudly responsible that he took your freedoms. And just minutes ago, standing beside Speaker Johnson, Donald Trump just said the collection of state bans is, quote, working the way it is supposed to. And as much harm as he has already caused, a second Trump term would be even worse. Donald Trump's friends in the United States Congress are trying to pass a national ban. And understand, a national ban would outlaw abortion in every state, even states like New York and California. And now Trump wants us to believe he will not sign a national ban. Enough with the gaslighting. Enough with the gaslighting. We all know if Donald Trump gets the chance, he will sign a national abortion ban. And how do we know? Just look at his record. Just look at the facts. Y'all know I'm a former prosecutor. Just look at the facts. Congress tried to pass a national abortion ban in 2017. And the then President, Trump, endorsed it and promised to sign it if it got on his desk. Well, the great Maya Angelou once said, "When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time." Donald Trump has told us who he is. And notice that Team Trump have an additional plan to attack reproductive freedom, a plan that they intend to implement on day one, even without Congress. They want to use another law from the 1800s, it's called the Comstock Act, to ban medication across all 50 states, no matter if it's currently legal or not. So here's what a second Trump term looks like: more bans, more suffering, and less freedom. Just like he did in Arizona, he basically wants to take America back to the 1800s. But we are not going to let that happen. Because here's the deal. This is 2024, not the 1800s, and we're not going back. We are not going back. Joe Biden and I trust women to know what is in their own best interest. And women trust all of us to fight to protect their most fundamental freedoms. So Arizona, this November, up and down the ballot, reproductive freedom is at stake. And you have the power to protect it with your vote. It is your power. It is your power that will put this right in the Arizona state constitution and elect a state legislature who will defend freedom, not try to take it away. It is your power that will send leaders like Ruben Gallego to the United States Senate and help secure a majority of members in the United States Congress who simply agree. This is all we want. Simply agree that the government should not be making these personal decisions for other people. And it is your power that will send Joe Biden and me back to the White House. And when Congress passes a law that restores the reproductive freedoms of Roe, Joe Biden will sign it into law. So in conclusion, I say, it is going to take all of us to get there. It's going to take every single one of us. And momentum is on our side. Think about it. Since Roe was overturned, every time reproductive freedom has been on the ballot, the people of America have voted for freedom. Think about it. From Kansas to California to Kentucky, in Michigan, Montana, Vermont, and Ohio, the people of America have voted for freedom. And not just by a little, but often by overwhelming margins, proving also that this is not just a partisan issue, proving that the voice of the people has been heard and will be heard. So today I ask, Arizona, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we trust women? Do we believe in reproductive freedom? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. God bless you.